Get my hair from sticking up. All right, beautiful people, here we go. Here we go. I have had quite a few days. How have your days been? I think there is a lot of shift happening. I think there might be some sun flares we're heading into. We are heading into July with the energy starting to rev up with the Lionsgate portal. Um, there's a lot of energy with the collective and what's happening with like collective wellness and well-being and health, let's just say. And there's some fear and a dense polarity on either side going on. So how do we not become the effect of all of that, right? Whether we just feel it energetically or whether we're partaking and putting certain things into our body, whether just like weather and pollen and pesticides and chemicals seem to be bothering us. How do we become not the effect of everything? So today we're talking about transmuting negative side effects. So if you have any questions about this, if you have any curiosities about this, put them in the chat. I'd love for this to be more of an interactive conversation. And before I really start, we're going to start with definitions of what transmuting is. The definition I came up with in my meditation today, and then the definition that I found on my phone. So, yeah, we're going to do that. And what did I just say? One of the things that's happening to me lately is just woo, extreme presence. You kind of lose what's happening in my brain. So just seeing if a few people want to jump on the live, and then we will dive into this juicy topic. What brought me to this topic is been having a rough few days, and I've been noticing the echoes of some old thought patterns and focuses coming up, and it just wasn't in alignment with my higher self, and it just was so uncomfortable. And I forget her name, but I'm subscribed to her. Totally forget her name, but she talked about being a vibrational being, right? And being a fractal of source energy. So I kept listening. And then she talked about transmuting anything. She was talking about the jab and that most of our culture is getting, and how the side effects can be intense. But what if we could transmute them? So anyway, her live just kind of just triggered me into being like, oh my gosh, this is so true in every fiber of my being. Let's talk about transmuting. Let's talk about miracles. Let's talk about our infinite possibilities today. So I go live every Friday with a topic about awakening, ascension, and human potential. So today's topic is transmuting. So I first want to start off with the definition of what is transmuting. What I came up with in my definition or my meditation today is transmutation, coming back to wholeness of the awareness of what you truly are, a fractal of source energy, an energy vibrational shift. What do you know about transmutation or transmuting? Let me know in the comments. And I want to tell you about what I found on my phone too. This is a really cool definition. I think you're really going to align with this. It's super, super cool. It says, transmutation is the jumping off point into enlightenment. Transmutation is spiritual alchemy. It's about wielding universal laws and forces when you know how to move among higher and lower energy frequencies in order to transmute one into the other. Miracles happen. Guys, this conversation may or may not be for you. We're going pretty out there. But what I want to say about transmuting, and before I get into the content of what my guided message came to me today, is that this isn't sci-fi. This isn't just super sciency and sci-fi and kind of like um, clunky and not real. Like transmuting and transmutation is possible. And on the planet right now, we are all awakening. We are all at different stages of our awakening journey. Now, if you are at a stage where you can transmute energies, you can do this. Now, this isn't going to be for everybody, but it certainly is for everybody to reach for and strive for. Because what transmuting of negative side effects of really any chemical, pollen, outer force, food, foreign substance into our body, what it takes is a broader perspective. What it takes is detaching from form and structure. Let me see if anyone's put a, oh, hello, Moon Child. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions about what I'm talking about. I'd love to have this to be an interactive conversation. So, what I know about transmuting is that it is possible. This isn't something way down the road that we can do. There's people doing it right now on the planet. But to do it, you must have the perspective that you are all vibrational, that everything is a vibrational reality. And the only thing that makes the difference in physical reality is the rate of frequency of vibration. And so, in this hologram that we are living in, we're all vibrating, but we're all vibrating at different rates. But the cool part about that is we can shift the vibration. And that's why I love alignment through sound or any kind of sound medicine, because it's such a quick way to shift energetics. So I've always known transmutation is possible. I've just known it in every fiber of my being. However, it's like, how do we do it? How is it done? Let me check the chats here. Do you know? Let me know in the comments. So side effects, right? Like side effects of pesticides, side effects of medical procedures or medical chemicals, side effects of pollen in the air, side effects of just environmental pollutants, right? I'm really sensitive and I get affected by them all the time. I just got an air purifier, I just got a water purifier. I really am selective. And you know what? I'm getting kind of sick of having to like walk so gently into the world. And it started to occur to me, if I'm an infinite being, why do I have to be the effect of everything? And that's where transmutation and transmuting comes into play. We can transmute energies into a higher frequency. And in sound healing or sound therapy, that is called entrainment. So transmuting and entrainment can kind of be synonyms of each other. Just checking on the, there we go. So being a sound healer, I love the idea of entrainment. So I want to dive into what's required for transmuting. One, it's the broad perspective I just said, that we must have the view that everything's a vibration. That is key. And the belief I have is that I am the energy of source. And I loved how someone, I can't remember her name, but I can't remember her channel, but she talked about being a fractal of source energy. And I love that term. I'm a fractal of source energy. I am the frequency of source energy. So for me, the way I transmute and the way I am learning to transmute, I definitely do not have this down yet, but I will die trying. um, but when you are a vibrational being and when you tune into the source energy frequency of everything, because everything on the planet is a frequency, and it's a rainbow of frequency. So if you tune into what part are you going to align with? Are you going to align with the denser frequencies of whatever thing we're being the effect of? Or do you want to tune into the source nature, the fractal of source energy of that thing? So I just went for a walk. This is a funny story. I just went for a walk, just checking in. Hello, KL. Thanks for being here. Talking about transmuting and not being in the effect of things. And I have a little story. I just walked my dog right before this live, and I walked into a field of weeds. And supposedly I am allergic to weeds, weed pollen. And so I was walking through and I started sneezing. And I was like, mm-mm. I demanded and commanded that I tune into the source frequency of the pollen in the field. And you know what? I didn't sneeze the rest of the walk. So guys, to be the energy of transmutation, you have to be the energy of your highest source self. You have to command and demand it. So I've heard about transmuting for so long and I've wanted to do it. And I'm like, well, how do I do it? Because people say it's possible, but I'm like, how? So this is how. So I'm going to give you some guidelines right here, and stay tuned because I do have a clearing statement that's really powerful. Let me just find, just be patient with me because I have tons of stuff written down from my guided message today through my meditation. So what we want to do is, as a human being, we have so many sides of ourselves. We have so many bodies of ourselves, right? So when transmuting, we want to go into every avenue of that humanness. So this takes consistency. This takes consistency every day, several times a day, if not like every moment you're living, okay? You live with this frequency of transmuting, okay? So you want to remind yourself, you want to remind your body's cells every day of the frequency, of the dominant frequency you're holding, which is source frequency. You want to remind your emotional body. You want to remind your energetics, your energetic feet, your chakras, your meridians. You want to remind them every day of their source nature. This is what came up here. Let's see, that's the clearing statement. Okay, I'm going to tell you this, guys. This is what came up. This is something you can say to yourselves. I am the flow of source energy through every space, cell, and molecule of my being. I am source energy through my thoughts. I am willing to let go of any density in my experience that doesn't allow this in my experience of this body as Rebecca. Okay, saying something like this every day, reminding yourself, it's important that we command and we demand it. Okay, I am source energy, a fractile of infinity frequency. I align everything to this frequency. My body is strong and I have exactly what I need to strive and thrive. So think about this, guys. I'm going to say this again. I align everything to this frequency. So I want you to make a command and a demand of it. So happy to hear this because relationships are hard when you're not a positive person. So true, KL. So true. So we want to make a command and demand. And someone just made KL just made a comment. This relationships are hard when you're not a positive person. So guys, when we are in family, when we are around people that are not transmuting, don't have the perspective of source nature, they're not in this stage of development, that's okay. What if you could be the dominant frequency in your relationship? What if you could be the dominant frequency in your family, in your work world, in wherever? Okay. So you want to say to yourself, what would it take for me to be the dominant frequency in my relationship, in my family? So in sound healing, it's the same thing. You want to entrain, you know, entrainment's going to happen to the highest frequency. Okay. So transmuting in relationships can be that too. We don't have to be the effects of relationships or chemicals or anything, any negative, any lower density frequency. We don't have to be the effect of. Okay. Loved and appreciate. Incredible how much power we have when we believe it. Yes, Ava. Um, so Ava just made a great comment about when we believe it. That's basically what we're doing here, guys. We are convincing our thought mind of the power of our infinite beingness. And when you're willing to claim that and demand that and demand that, that's what we have to do every day. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not like for weekend journeyers. This is for people that are committed to the awakening process. You can transmute energy. You can transmute vibration. You can transmute chemicals and medical chemicals, and you can transmute environmental toxins. You can transmute toxic energetics. You can. It just takes commitment. Commitment is key, and consistency. All right. So whether it's a relationship or a chemical, I want to tell you something else I came up with during my meditation here. Consistency is key. It's super key that we go into every area of our humanness: physical, mental, emotional, energetic, intuitive, and spiritual, and really remind them every day of their infinite nature. Okay. Then require and demand what the dominant frequency is. So here's a little statement, another statement you can use. So you can go back into this video and really like write down these statements I'm saying, and you don't have to use them verbatim. You can use your own words, but it's really important to remind yourself in these ways, because this is setting the frequency of how you're going to transmute whatever is coming in, just like I did with the pollen. I'm so grateful for your comments, everybody. Thank you. Um, I am a fractal of source energy. I am the dominant frequency of this experience, this energy system, brain and thought generation, emotional body and physical body. I demand and command and require cells, molecules, and space to align with this frequency. I'm going to say that again because that got a little mobbled. But this is a really, really powerful, powerful statement to say every day to yourself. Okay. So as we do this, when you say this all the time, you become the energy of the transmutation. So that's one way of doing transmutation. The other way of doing transmutation is like on the spot and asking and require and tuning into the source energy of that existing thing. But I'll get to that in a minute. Okay. So what you want to do is set the frequency every day, several times a day. Okay. So with this statement, I, as a fractal of source energy, am the dominant frequency of this experience, of this energy system, brain and thought generation system, emotional body and physical body. I demand and command and require all molecules and space and cells to align with this frequency. All right. So what you're doing with that statement is creating a point of focus so that you really start to become fully that dominant frequency of source energy. Okay. And what happens, what we know with the law of vibration is like attracts like, right? So you're setting this up. Now, the second thing I just mentioned was that, like my story I mentioned earlier about walking through the field of pollen that supposedly I'm allergic to, and I commanded and demanded that I tune in to the source frequency of that pollen. So if there is no contrast, if I want to experience the field and the weeds and the pollen, then I say I'm going to experience it as source energy. And then there is no polarity for my body to be the effect of. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense in the comments. Okay. So there's two ways of doing this, and I recommend both ways consistently throughout your day, every day. So, guys, when we don't do this, we can kind of get lost in the echoes of denser frequencies. I just came out of this the past few days, and I was kind of witnessing myself be and act and have these thoughts of lower frequencies, of old patterns, of old emotions, of old thought patterns. And I got so sick, actually. It wasn't an alignment with my highest self at that point. And I felt very like uneasy inside and I couldn't sleep. And then finally, this occurred to me. I got the awareness that, oh my gosh, I have got to claim my energy back. I have got to claim this. And the minute I claimed it and demanded that I am and will have and be the dominant frequency of my source self, everything started to shift. Guys, this has to be a consistent thing. Okay. Um, all right. So please use those statements. Please use those statements that I just mentioned to align yourself with the dominant frequency of what you are, which is a fractal of source energy. Okay. And you may name that something different, but whatever that is, like, be the dominant frequency. So you have to just lay the foundation of being that dominant frequency. And then say you have, you know, you're out to dinner and you're eating meat that's not completely organic and stuff like that. You can actually say to the meat, I'm tuning in to the source frequency of this meat. That is what I'm aligning with. And you can transforming that way. You can also just say, I'm putting your hand over and just saying, I'm raising the vibration to my highest vibration in this meat. You can do that to anything. So whether it's something you're drinking or injecting or just have to walk into, or whether if it's a real toxic relationship, what if you could command and demand the highest frequency of it so that you can transmute the negative side effects? Okay. Now, what happens if you're already experiencing the negative side effects and you forgot to do all that? Okay. Um, love it. Hi, Anna. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your comment. And so where was I? Okay, so you've already had the negative side effects. Like me last night, I went through 3 days of just toxic thinking, okay? And just started feeling more and more and more tired, more and more toxic. And then I got this inspiration of like, I'm going to transmute this. You know, I started feeling like I was getting sick. I started feeling my sinuses. I just started spiraling down. We're all a work in progress, guys. So, just all we can do is just keep playing with all this. And when we notice we take a nosedive, come back up. So when I know that, I just placed my hands on myself and I just was like, hey, remember? Remember, you are the frequency of source energy. And so It's just reminding. It's just reminding the body. And then it's reminding, then it's telling your mind that, you know, commanding and demanding where you want to be vibrationally. So, guys, you can do this after the fact and you can do it before the fact, before the chemicals or anything goes into you. So like I did that, the pollen was already in me. I started sneezing. And then I was like, I demand that I tune into the source frequency of the pollen. And then all of a sudden I didn't get the effect of it. So guys, this is awesome work. This is human potential. This is human evolution. You can do this. This is not clunky sci-fi, science, weird stuff, but it does require you to have the perspective that we're not going to take sides in a polar argument. It requires you to be all of it. It requires you to be the neutrality of source energy that you are. Pretty cool, huh? All right, beautiful people. Let me see. Let me go over my notes, and then I would like to do alignment through sound to give us a little boost in our source nature. But I just want to go make sure I did not forget anything. So, is this making sense to everybody? Do you want to add something? Please put it in the comments while I take a look here. Um, Yeah, I can't stress this enough, guys. If you really want to transmute negative side effects, you really want to transmute um, things in your life, you want to experience those miracles, consistency and practice is required and a lot of it. The more you do it, though, the more you insist, the more you become the energy of it. I've said this in so many other videos too. Like when you do a practice, you become the energy of it. You create the bridge. You have to create the bridge first, and then you decrease the gap and you become the energy of it. And the less you have to kind of do it like a real practice. So, but at first it requires practice and a lot of it. But basically, what we're doing with transmuting is creating an energy shift. We're creating a shift of frequency, which means that we're going from a low frequency, a low rate of vibration, and we're shifting it to a quicker rate of vibration. That's what we're doing with transmuting. Pretty cool, huh? Transmuting is an intentional mode of being that every person can tap into if they want, because it takes consistency. But a lot of people don't do transmuting because it does take consistency in practicing and aligning with energy of source. It takes being the energy of source, being first, which takes consistency. Okay. All right. Everything is energy. Okay. Okay. I think that's everything, guys. So that's my take on transmuting. I hope I gave you some things to work with, some statements to say, and I hope I gave you some tools to really work with so that you could, let's see. As you said, we're all works in progress. So forgiving ourselves for being a low vibrational person is someone's life is important. Oh, KL said this. So look in the chat here. It says, as you said, we're all works in progress. So forgiving ourselves for being a low vibrational person is in someone's life is important. Wow, that's very interesting. So I was going through some low frequencies the past few days, and that contrast helped me just blossom into some different perspectives today. So I definitely don't feel like I have to forgive myself because there's nothing, I don't feel bad about myself for doing that. But I can see, like, if I feel like my lower frequency days was affecting my husband, but I don't think we have to. I think forgiving people and forgiving ourselves, but I also think that it's someone else's journey to work with lower frequencies, just like we are working with our own lower frequencies or lower frequencies out here. So I don't I don't know if I align with forgiving ourselves for being a lower frequency because it's all just part of the ride. And if someone's around our lower frequency, it's a gift because it's a contrast that they get to look at. If they're being the effect of it, they get to have that gift of the contrast and rise up from there. So I kind of hear what you're saying, KL, but I also kind of see it this way too, where it's not so much a problem, but a gift. Like contrast is a gift for us to uh, grow, right? So to blossom from. So low frequency isn't something to be forgiven as much as it is to just grow from and expand from and gain awareness from. Just so that's how I see that. All right, what I'd love to offer right now is a little alignment through sound coming from source energy and to just give us a little boost of remembering, of helping every aspect of ourselves remember their source nature. So to receive this, just sit back, be in receiving mode. And if receiving it also is helps you like to sing with it, sing along with it, go for that too. I just want to thank everyone for being here and the comments, the beautiful comments that you offered. Thank you so much. And enjoy the alignment through sound here. Hmm. So beautiful, people. Just relish in the dominant frequency of your source self. Allow it to expand through every molecule and space that you are. And from there, that's how we will transmute side effects, negative side effects, low density side effects. So join me next Friday for another live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.